Hello and welcome back to Mindfulness in Science. My name is Dr. Asma Ahmed. I'm a senior lecturer in Natural and Applied Sciences at Canterbury Christchurch University. This is the second part of a series about mindfulness. In the first part, we talked about what mindfulness is and how it can benefit you, how it brings about changes in the brain structure and eventually helps in day-to-day life. But today we're going to focus more on some specific practices, some tools and techniques that you could use in your daily life and see how they work for you. If you remember in the first session, we talked about how mindfulness is a very simple concept. It's about being aware. It's about bringing a non-judgmental focus or attention to the present moment, and how over time, this practice, when done regularly and consistently, can bring about a lot of different changes to the way we feel, to the way we perform, to our day-to-day efficiency, and mostly how it can improve the quality of life. But the beautiful thing about mindfulness is that you don't need to be in a particular location or wearing certain kinds of clothes. You don't need to be sitting on a mountaintop or under a tree. You don't need to be a monk to practice mindfulness. You can pay attention to your surroundings wherever you are. Of course, it may be easier in certain settings than others, but in a beautiful place like the UK, in Canterbury, surrounding areas, everywhere you go is just so beautiful. It's green and lush. Paying attention to your surroundings is actually fairly easy in a place like this. Or you could be working in a lab, just focusing fully on each task, slowing down the way we do things can bring about more mindfulness in our day-to-day life. We're also used to multitasking now. Multitasking has become a fashionable thing, and we feel that we're being more effective when we're doing 3 different things at once. Some people work in the lab and they like to have music playing. Some like to study with, the TV on, or you might be having a conversation with someone, but your mind is elsewhere. So we're never really fully present in the moment. We talked about this in the previous session as well. But if we can consciously slow down and decide to do one task at a time and focus fully on what we're doing, we're being more mindful, we're being more present. But is this easy, you must be wondering? And if it's so simple, why aren't more people more mindful more of the time in their days? Yes, it's a habit. Think of it like going to the gym. If you want to get healthier, if you want to build muscle or get a six-pack abs, or you want to get fitter, you want to run the marathon, it won't help if you just do it one time. You need to be consistent in your practice. You need to set aside some time during your day, maybe every day or maybe 3 or 4 times a week, when you devote some time and attention to this practice of working out, going to the gym. It might be hard at first, but it gets easier as you keep doing it. You enjoy it more as you keep doing it. And over time, you begin to see real results, real changes in the body. Mindfulness practices are very much like this. When you begin, it might be very hard to focus on your tasks and your surroundings all the time. But as you set aside some time every day, not a very long period of time, could be 10-15 minutes a day, but with practice and in time, you will find that it gets easier. You begin to look forward to your mindfulness practice. And the best part of it is, after a few days, you'll notice that it percolates, the effects actually percolate through the rest of your day as well. So I've put together just a few techniques that you could try out. And as I've said before, there's an ocean of information on mindfulness out there. And I've also compiled a few resources where you can go and explore these techniques and other techniques further. One of the most powerful techniques I've come across, and this has worked really well for me in the past, is to use the breath. Now, it's so simple and yet so powerful because the breath is with you all the time. You can observe your breath anywhere, whatever you're doing, and no one will even know that you're practicing mindfulness. Let's try it right now. Wherever you are, whether you're sitting or standing or walking, just pay attention to how the breath feels. How does the air feel as you breathe in? What's the temperature of the air? Just pay attention to how it feels as it moves in through your nostrils, as it moves down to your lungs and your chest expands. Focus on how it feels when the air moves further down and your stomach expands. Focus on your exhalation now, how the air feels as it moving back up through your lungs and out through your nostrils. Focus on the temperature, focus on the humidity perhaps. Just focus without trying to change anything. Now, if you do this for several minutes, just focus on how you're breathing, observing your breath. You'll find that your mind automatically begins to slow down. Again, this may be hard at first. You focus on one or two breaths, and then your mind starts to wander. This is natural. This is because it's an untrained mind starting out, but it doesn't mean that it stays that way. If you do this every day, it gets easier and easier, and you might find that even through the day, you automatically start focusing on your breath and become more mindful of your body and your surroundings. Of course, you can also use your breath to calm down. That's not necessarily a mindfulness practice, but again, it's a very powerful tool. So the next time you feel anxious or stressed in anticipation or you're in a stressful situation, just try a technique which is called the 3-4-5 technique. You breathe in for a count of 3, hold your breath for a count of 4, and breathe out for a count of 5. Now, what happens is as your exhalation becomes longer than your inhalation, it sends an automatic signal to your nervous system to calm down, to slow down, and to relax. So if you do this and use your breath when in anxious situations or something that's causing you some kind of stress or nervousness, you'll find that it instantly calms down your body. Another very powerful tool in mindfulness is to pay attention to your senses. Again, it's unobtrusive, inconspicuous, and very easy because your senses are always with you. But think about how little attention we pay to them. Again, these could be very simple techniques. You can just, wherever you are, pay attention to what you're hearing. Pay attention to my voice, and then observe whether you can hear any other sounds. Are there any softer sounds that you can hear? Maybe the hum of a computer or a fan running somewhere, the distant sound of traffic. Can you hear your own breathing? Pay attention to all the sounds that you can hear, one at a time at first, and then see if you can focus on multiple sounds at the same time. What you're doing when you do this is you're bringing your attention back from the past or future to the present moment, to what you're hearing right now. You can do this with seeing, you can do this with touch. Just feel how the texture of the chair feels when you sit on it. Just observe, maybe when you're in lab and wearing gloves, how does the glove feel on your skin? How do your clothes feel on your skin? When you're touching a surface or the computer, how does that feel? Bring your attention back to any of your senses, and that's training your brain to be mindful. Just slowing down, paying attention, and focusing on what's happening right now. That could be a mindfulness practice. And as I said before, two things to remember is one of these might work better for you than the others. You might enjoy one of these more than the others. Some people like to watch their breath. Some people like to do a body. So just pay attention to how every single part of your body feels. Start from the top of your head and just mentally scan your entire body all the way down to the toes. Do this 10 minutes a day. Now you can select the mindfulness practice based on what works for you. The other thing to remember again is that it needs a consistent practice, but it does get easier. So at the beginning, you might have to set an alarm and remind yourself that it's time for a mindfulness practice. But over time, it will be something that you look forward to, like going to the gym or going for a run outside, because you'll see the effects that it has on your body and mind. There are some very interesting apps that you can download on your computers or your phones. There's one app, this is a free app called InsightTimer, and they have a lot of courses that you can take. They have guided mindfulness practices that you can play, or you can use it simply as a timer. If you just want to do a quiet mindfulness practice and you don't need any guidance at all, you can use it as a timer and it rings a bell at the end of whatever time you set on it to remind you that it's over. But what I like about this app is it has a variety of guided mindfulness techniques. You just type in mindfulness in the search and you'll see all the courses and the techniques that the app has, and they keep updating this as well. So this is something you can use as an app. You can also use it directly from the website, I think. There's another app I came across. It's called MyLife. And again, this is a free app that you can download. And it helps you with very short mindfulness activities that you can, play anytime during the day if you've got it on your phone. It also helps with, better sleep and things like that. So if you've got issues with insomnia or you don't sleep very well, this is an app that you could potentially use. And here are some more very useful resources. The first one actually is a compilation of various other mindfulness apps and resources that you can check out. Many of them are free, some of them are paid if we prefer that. There's another website called mindful.org which has a lot of information on mindfulness and a lot of techniques that you could test. InsightTimer I talked about. There's another app called headspace.com as well, which you can download on the phone. You might have seen its ads as well in various places. So I just wanted to give you a snapshot of what's out there, and I do hope you found this interesting and useful, and that you will explore what works for you and incorporate at least a very short mindfulness practice in your daily life, and I'm sure that it will benefit you in time. So that's it from me, and hope you have a mindful day. Bye bye.